Aloha, my name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the president and CEO of the Hawaiʻi Restaurant and the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. Welcome to ThinkTech and Restaurants of Hawaii on the ThinkTech platform. Today we have two incredible guests joining us, Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association's chairman, Andy Huang, and an HRA Board of Director, Nick Ware, both key figures in the restaurant scene in Hawaii. We'll be discussing some important updates on the reflection of our 1-year anniversary of the Lahaina wildfires and how Maui restaurants and businesses are hoping for a bright future. We'll also be diving into our upcoming Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association Hall of Fame event. It's our big gala, our biggest event of the year that celebrates our industry's finest and supports our ongoing growth by providing scholarships and school grants for our Pro Start program in local high schools. As we reflect and we discuss what's currently going on Maui, I just want to really remind everyone it's been 1 year. August 8th, 2023, the unimaginable happened. And many lives were lost, and homes and businesses. And that's why we're talking about it today. You know, what has happened a year later. So I'd like to please have Andy and Nick introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and the organization that you're with. Can we start off with Andy?
Yes. Hi, my name is Andy Huang. I'm the current chairman for Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association. I'm also the vice president and chief operating officer for L&L Hawaiian Barbecue.
Thank you. And Nick Ware.
My name's Nick Ware, director with the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association and general manager of Duke's Maui in Kanapali, West Maui.
Thank you, gentlemen. As I mentioned, on August 8th, the unimaginable happened, and the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association wasted no time in jumping into action. It was our own Don Murphy who actually was the brainchild behind Kokua for Maui Restaurant Day, where restaurants on all islands could choose. We did it the first Tuesday of each month, and they would select what the percentage is that they would give back to Maui. HRA was also very deeply involved in providing direct relief to the Maui people that live there. We coordinated food, containers filled with supplies, essential resources, and I really want to give a special shout out to Nick Ware, to Tambra, Garrick, and to Javier, who really were our daily lifeline and letting us know what was happening over there in Maui, and more so what is needed. You know, once we found out what supplies were needed and food and containers were needed, then we were able to coordinate all of that. So Nick, if you could share with us, you know, how has the recovery process been for the Maui residents, the restaurants and businesses since the wildfire?
For being just a year out, you know, the wounds are still pretty open for a lot of the folks in West Maui. A lot of different types of needs are still there, and you know, as far as what the restaurant industry is struggling with at the moment, you know, the island is quite slow. And between the need for housing and retaining residents and workforce, and the need for tourism to keep the wheels turning, it's been difficult to reconcile what needs to come first. But the resounding answer to that is resources for residents to keep the generational families that have been in Lahaina, and to ensure the long-term success of Lahaina. And unfortunately, as more houses seem to be coming online in interim housing, we're continuing to see people leave the island.
I'm so sorry. Gosh, it really saddens me. Now, Andy, L&L lost the restaurant in Lahaina, and I've had an opportunity to speak to Lin, but I haven't spoken to her recently. What are you hearing from the people that are still on Maui that are really trying to stay there?
Yeah, the owner of Lahaina store that was destroyed by the wildfire still could not find another location to relocate. Her home was also destroyed, so they're being renting apartments since the fire. The good news is that her property has been cleared up, and she can start thinking and working on rebuilding. She has been keeping her mind positive as much as possible and working day to day through the recovery. She was fortunate, thankful for the support from the community, and fortunate to be able to work at her sister's L&L store in Honokowai, and to keep her mind off the stress and continue to serve the community. And during the past year, we have been spreading the words whenever we have an opportunity so that people can continue to support. L&L started the Purchase a Meal program, offered people from around the country to purchase and donate a plate lunch via our mobile app. So we were able to not only feed the local community, but also to keep the restaurant door open so she can continue to serve the community. So and then she just mentioned to me that she starts seeing a lot of workers left town, and they still struggling. Not enough customers. The visitors are coming back in a slower wave, so they still need a lot of support.
That's exactly what I'm hearing also. Nick, as we talked about some success stories of, how some restaurateurs have shown such resilience since the disaster, they're still committed to the industry. They're looking for other locations on other parts of Maui. What stories have you heard of resilience?
Well, I've heard lots of stories, and certainly seen fewer than stories I've heard. But the West Maui was really excited to see Mala Tavern reopen, and now Cocoa Deck across the street as various parts of Lahaina reopen to commerce. There's also, up in Napili, where it was really the epicenter of the humanitarian crisis that unfolded the few days after the fire. It's nice to see places in Napili like Joey's Kitchen starting to develop a line as well. Though, the hard part really has been there's really not a lot of tourism in West Maui. There's healing to be done. And, where's the inflection point for, getting back to where we were, but also allowing time and space for the residents to take care of what they need to take care of, and get some semblance of normalcy back to life here. We did get some good news this past week that the residential cleanup is 100% complete, and the commercial cleanup is expected to follow suit shortly, as well as rumblings that the mayor's office may have some tentative plans to share as soon as mid-October, though not really expected to have anything finalized for quite some time. It just seems to be a really big leap in the right direction. But, given how many restaurants and how many jobs were lost in the fire, to even see them coming back one by one, it just really fills our heart here in West Maui. And there's certainly more room, despite there being a lack of space available.
That's awesome to hear. For those who have not heard the Joey Makadangdang story, oh my gosh, can you please, Nick, share with them how he was cooking and feeding people, not even charging, and basically sleeping on the floor of his restaurant?
Communities like Lahaina are so rare, and Lahaina reminds me of where I grew up in small town Vermont, where neighbors really look out for neighbors, and self-sacrifice is not in short supply. And immediately following the fires, there were a number of restaurants that had refrigerator trucks. The morning of the fire, they had got refrigerator trucks because the power had gone out. And as Napili Plaza turned into the epicenter, really Joey's Kitchen was the spot to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And in conjunction with these other restaurants helping to supply proteins and sauces and vegetables and anything that had been available, thousands of meals were offered at no charge. And nobody sacrificed more during that than Joey and his ohana at Joey's Kitchen. So if you're ever in West Maui, don't miss an opportunity to go get some great food and support a local legend that, as much as anybody post-fire that I saw, put his community before himself and his own health. And he really deserves to be commended for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Andy, there's so many stories of, resilience after this tragedy. Did you have any stories that you wanted to share?
No, I think Nick shared a lot of really awesome stories. So, I mean, I think there's tons of them out there. Definitely, I don't really have any personal stories to share. So, I think yeah, wonderful.
Thank you so much. So, guys, is there anything else we want to talk about Maui and the 1 year that's gone by? Anything that we want to say to our members and viewers of how they can support Maui before I change the subject and I start talking about the Hall of Fame?
Now we're still raising money with HRA for the employees in West Maui who've lost their jobs. Just so I don't misinform, the best way to do that would be to go to the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association website.
Yes, or just email us and let us know how you would like to participate. As you mentioned, Nick, I set up a separate checking account, right? A whole separate account. Everything is separate, and that's where all the contributions, donations have been going there. And then when we are ready, right, then we'll do another distribution. So now, guys, may I please switch our conversation to the Hall of Fame coming up? And it's such a special part of our industry to recognize members and restaurateurs or restaurant industry, the food service industry leaders who constantly go above and beyond their daily efforts to support Hawaii's restaurants and the broader food service industry. Their dedication is something that we see every day, and it was especially clear during the Lahaina wildfires. We witnessed our entire food service industry, as Nick just said, come together, performing extraordinary acts of kindness and service to support those who were impacted. These individuals not only showed their professional commitment, but embodied the spirit of aloha in a time of crisis. The Hall of Fame honors that spirit and dedication, highlighting 5 industry leaders. And so I just wanted to kind of go over a little bit about it. The individuals were nominated by the industry, and then we have a nomination committee who then went through. Andy, there must have been over 60, right, nominations through that list, right? And what was really apparent was like Nick said, those who really during the Maui wildfire stood up and did something. And number one is an industry champion. This gentleman will not be able to attend the Hall of Fame, but he has accepted this award. And I just want to say a special thank you to Guy, because I'm going to send him this recording. As soon as he heard about the wildfire, he then rallied chefs. And I'm going to now put on my glasses because now that I'm crying, I can't see the number. On October 23rd, he rallied 38 award-winning chefs for a dinner in Sonoma, California. He was able to raise $1,500,000. And he gave me a call and said, Sheryl, I really want these to go to those employees that were impacted by the wildfire. And what we did was I told Guy the plan, and he approved it. It's his money, right? So I needed his approval that HRA would partner with American Savings Bank and Fiserv. Thank you so much to ASB and Fiserv for being the partners in this program. We were able to pass out prepaid cash cards to those restaurant workers. And Nick, you were there, right? You got to see. Andy was there. He actually got to give the cards to the LNL that was impacted. A special mahalo to him because he really has a special place in his heart. He's done over 16 episodes here in Hawaii with his diners, drive-in, diners, and dives. And his name is Guy Fieri. And Guy, we want to thank you for what you did, because That was just so amazing. That money went to, and gentlemen, you can tell us stories about what they did with those cards. What I heard was people were buying medication. When they ran out of their homes, Nick, they didn't think about taking their asthma inhalers or their heart medicine. So they said immediately, Cheryl, I need to buy medicine to replenish what I lost in the fire just so that I can stay alive. Do you have any stories of how that money was impacted, how it impacted them, Nick, by receiving the cash cards?
When we handed those out, it was mostly to the business owners who then took those cards and distributed them to their employees. But I have had the pleasure of meeting several of those employees over the last year, and once they've heard I was a director on the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association board, the amount of thanks that they have for the Restaurant Association and Guy, and even what really, in the face of it all, only amounts to a few dollars, despite how impressive it is. It's just impactful for different people in different ways, whether it's medication or food or down payment for something or just a little bit of a cushion. An event of that size affected everybody. So varying different degrees of needs, but the outpouring of support from the mainland, the Guy Fieri Association, the TS Restaurant of Aloha Foundation, the TS Legacy of Aloha Foundation, Catholic Charities. I mean, the list is endless. And I certainly know that there's no recipient in West Maui that isn't thankful for that aloha.
Andy, do you have any stories of how people spent their cash card?
No, it's just buying food, right? A lot of times, you get people donating food, donating clothing, but a lot of people we met, they all say cash still needed because they need something, like you say, buying medication, buying stuff for kids, if they can go back to school, like school supplies and all that. Definitely helpful.
Yes. And then the other one I heard, Nick, was gasoline, only because they were driving to so many appointments, driving to file paperwork, driving to file things, going to banks, trying to set up appointments. They said, Cheryl, you don't realize how much we drove. Just a little bit of extra money for gas really came in handy, because they said they didn't realize how many different appointments and how many different places they had to go to try to rebuild everything that burned. So thank you, gentlemen. The other recipient is Tambra Garrick. Tambra is with the Hawaii Farm Project and Maui Gold Pineapple. And as you know, Nick, Tambra, you can share with us a little bit about what Tambra was doing during the recovery.
Well, Tambra is a heat-seeking missile. She just, as soon as she has a scent, she's off to the races. And gosh, in terms of the HRA directors, I know Tambra hit the ground running. She has endless energy, boundless aloha. She's down for the cause, whatever the cause may be, and we were really lucky to have her here in West Maui to help head up some of the operations and some of the relief efforts that the HRA had coordinated.
Yes, and because of the cell problem, she had to climb a mountain, Nick. That's all I know. She's like, I'm at the top of the mountain trying to call you and let me know. She's texting me and calling me and letting me know what needed, what is needed where. And so we could help those we're trying to help the community, right? So that's what she was doing. So, and thank you, Nick, for all your calls and updates, and Javier, because without you three were the feet on the ground, right? Letting us know daily what is needed. The other person who is going to be recognized is Peter Albuquerque. He is a local champion at the Mauna Kea Hotel, an awesome guy who totally believes in supporting and buying local and supporting local ag. He's an amazing gentleman over there at the Mauna Kea Hotel. Another person who's going to be recognized at the Hall of Fame is a pioneer. His name is James H.Q. Lee. He is with the Hihing Corporation and Let's Eat Hawaii. Andy, you know a little bit about James, right? And how many years he's been in the industry, and his family goes back, and I'm going to say decades. Andy, you want to share a little bit about James?
Yeah, he's been, around for a long time, is well known, and he also is attorney by trade. So he helped our, HRA draft some of the legal documents, without charging us. It's always very kind of him. His restaurant, Heehin, has been around for a long time. Of course, I think he's also involved with Sam Choice. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And the fifth gentleman I'm going to mention is he was the one at 2:00 in the morning, Nick, texting me, letting me know Maui was on fire. He was the first call that came in. And since then, he has done endless work on Maui, providing so much. And his name is Mike Rumpel of Domino's. Endless. This gentleman constantly is giving. He gives so much of his heart and of his time and of his energy. And as I mentioned to him, he's like sending over like pizzas and pizzas and pizzas. I said, you don't understand, Mike, pizza is a comfort food. When you need food, right? You see a pizza coming, it's so welcome. Children, they're so happy when they see pizza. Mike was full on during the fires, let us know what was going on. And I just really want to thank him. He has been, as I mentioned, for decades supporting the Hawaii food service and restaurant industry. And it's just an honor to honor him during this Hall of Fame. Now, is there anything else about Hall of Fame that I missed?
I can give a little bit preview of the Hall of Fame and what to expect. The Hall of Fame Fundraising Gala is a highly anticipated event in Hawaii restaurant industry, offering a blend of celebration, networking, community support. Here's some of the highlights to expect, right? We have gourmet dining experience. Attendees can look for a curated menu featuring signature dishes from some of the Hawaii's top chefs and restaurants. Great opportunity to sample a variety of culinary delights on the evening. The gala honors outstanding individuals, like we mentioned, the 5 outstanding individuals in the local restaurant industry, celebrating their contribution, achievements. This including inductions into the Hall of Fame, which recognize the long-standing excellence and innovations. We also will have silent auctions, and live auctions, fundraising activities such as auctions offer unit items, experience. The proceeds will help supporting the industry-related causes and initiatives. Networking opportunity to meet industry professionals, connections, share ideas, collaborations. The event is very important to the Hawaii restaurant industry. The funds raised during the gala often go toward supporting local culinary education program, like our educational foundation. The honoring the achievement individuals and boost morals and motivate others in the industry to strive for excellence. Bringing together key players in the industry, the event will help fostering a sense of community and collaboration, which can lead new business opportunities. The gala also celebrates the rich culinary heritage of Hawaii, promoting local ingredient, traditional recipes, innovations, and define the region's food scene. So these are all just some of the previews, and just looking forward to see everybody at the gala. And it's coming up September 30th, Monday. So looking forward to see everybody there.
Andy summed it up beautifully. They've got the right man for the job.
Yes. And as we prepare for this incredible event that honors these 5 inductees. I just want to, as Andy said, it is our 16th annual Hall of Fame presented by Waihata and Company. And we just want to give a special shout out to Russell Hata and Waihata for being the presenting sponsor. It's a celebration. And as Andy mentioned, there'll be 14 of our top restaurants there providing all of the food. And then there'll be a lot of beverages, Nick.
I hadn't heard.
Yes. a lot of beverages. So before I close out this show, I just really want to thank my guests for being here, but I wanted to give them one last opportunity to share anything that they want to say about the Maui recovery or the Hall of Fame. Nick, you want to go first?
I'd love to. If anybody out there is thinking about supporting West Maui in any way, I'll tell you a quick story, and there's dozens of these stories. The day after the fire, the general manager of our sister restaurant, Ula Grill Katanapali, her name's Amber Compton. She's a wonderful woman. She and her husband lost their home. And as some of us were making our way through Napili the next morning, trying to figure out what we're going to do for breakfast and how we were going to fill up our gas tank to get to the other side for supplies, Amber was in Napili Plaza by the fire station, serving food to hundreds of people lined up, with her house still in ruins. And when we say, Lahaina is the type of community where self-sacrifice is not in short supply, and people get out there and they help their neighbor, that is a perfect example of the type of people that you're supporting here in West Maui, to get back on their feet. And I just wanted to say thank you to her and Joey Makadang Dang and everybody else who sacrificed so much in the wake of the fire to help take care of their friends and neighbors.
Thank you so much. And for you, Nick, the reason I wanted you on the show is because Nick was my lifeline over there. It's like, Nick, what is going on Maui? And he would give us reports so that we could support, because, we need to know daily what was going on. So thank you, Nick, for your role. And thank you for attending the Hall of Fame. I'm looking forward to seeing you and your team.
As am I. And thank you so much for everything, Sheryl.
So, Andy, any closing words before I close the show about the Maui wildfires or about Hall of Fame?
We can all support by, either donation or even visiting Maui. There's still a lot of places that we can go. Visiting Maui can help, directly impact the economy there. So we all can contribute by doing that and just spread the words so that way people can continue to support and then move forward and support our Hall of Fame. All the Hall of Fame, the proceeds, and we'll get people together and kind of, figure out a way to move forward. So that's what we wanted to, continue to support.
Thank you. And thank you to my guests today. I really want to thank you for taking the time and joining us here on the ThinkTech platform. So please remember to please subscribe to this ThinkTech video and hit the bell so you're notified when ThinkTech updates new videos. Again, my name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the president and CEO of the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association and the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. Please remember to nourish connections, savor life, and eat well and live well. The Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association is the organization unifying, representing, and supporting the Hawaiʻi restaurant and food service industry. We'll see you next time.